Hey, 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 welcome to the show. Episode 127 of the WarDawg Trail book and podcast. All right. Remember, you can visit my website, sergeantwardawgtv.com, as well as all other social media platforms. Also, remember, you can grab my book, same name as this podcast, The WarDawg Trail, a Marine Rifleman's Struggle with War and PTSD. It's available on Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, Walmart.com, and a bunch of other places. All right, this is episode 127. I got a boss on deck. You hear me? I got somebody that we brought here in episode 81 because he the realest. And we back here on episode 127 to hear what he's been doing, what he's been up to, and to pass on any knowledge that he always has. I apologize. I was a little slow, a little late, so we lost some time to gather his content, all right? But here we go. Man of the hour, the boss in the 2A space, right? Mr. KD, Kevin Dixie, also known as the real NOC, no other choice. Welcome to the show, boss. Welcome back. Oh, okay.
There we are.
I'm sorry, boss man. I'm sorry about that. All right, so how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate all the kind words. That was very humbling. Thank you very much for the kind words, man. But it's a pleasure to be here with you, a man of your stature and of your message and your voice. So I appreciate you having me on today.
No doubt, no doubt. I ain't never heard anybody say I have a stature or a voice, but you made me feel good about saying it, man. So salute, bro. Salute.
No, not a
All
problem.
right. First off, can you let everyone know your name, what it means, and where they can find you online or social media?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So my full name is Kevin Dixie, hence the KD. I like to say I'm the other shooter if you're a basketball fan. So Kevin Dixie KD, the real NOC. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is where I'm most live. YouTube is going to be a very, very close second, if not taking over the number one role here soon. And then there's also Facebook, but it's still real NOC. On Instagram, just use the underscore between real and NOC and type it in, or you can type in my name. It'll come up. You can Google me as well, and all the information will come up there as well. And as far as what I do, I am... Man, this is always the tough one to kind of answer, right? Because I know human nature. We like to put ourselves in boxes, and other people like to put us in boxes. But I started off as a civil rights advocate that happened to be good with a pistol, and I wanted to.
Hold on, say that one more time. For the active political activists and the Twaker.
I just happen to be a civil rights activist in my own right little world, my own little bubble. That happened to be good with a pistol. It just so I used to always say an activist that could get active. If you made me,
Okay. Okay.
And that's how it started, man. It started as being a little street preacher. I'm not close to him at all, but the preaching is in my blood. My biological father is a preacher, so I started off as kind of just in my blood as a street preacher. My granddad was a businessman and a leader, and that kind of transitioned down to me as well, just through the bloodline. And I just wanted to get out there and kind of break our community. And when I say our community, it's not assuming that every single African-American person or Black individual grew up in poverty, because I got some white homies and some Indian homies too that grew up in poverty, right? Impoverished environments. But for our community where I come from, which is predominantly Black, it was like, man, we're sitting here running around in this trap, like literally a trap. But we have been taught to believe that we're living life, and we really weren't. And this is before we had the internet. This is before, and I just realized, like, we are not living life. We are serving someone else. We have a master in a different form, and that master was now the prison system. and the industrial complex, right? And what I mean by the industrial complex, separate from the prison system, it's industry. If I can create a bunch of individuals that have made all these mistakes in life, and now they have convictions and records, or they're undereducated, or they don't understand how to apply themselves, either way I attack them. If I can attack them, then I can keep my factory workers. I can keep my, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with these positions. I'm just saying they trap you in those positions to where that is the highest echelon in life through our viewpoint. I keep you working at the local grocery store. I keep you, just trying to cut grass on the side. But you can never own the Fortune 500 company. You can't own the car dealership, right? So it keeps us there as the workforce and the labor force, or I put you in a prison system and trap you there. So long story short, I started to realize that was a problem. Our civil rights were an issue. Politicians weren't to be trusted once I learned what they were. And from there, I just wanted to help, man. I wanted to help. I'm a survivor of two, and I say failed attempts at, unaliving myself as a teenager because of all the trauma that I went through. I'm a victim of molestation and foster care system and all those things, and living in the ghetto. And so every day of my life was traumatic. Right. So I just wanted life to be over. But once I survived that, it's like, all right, well, let me see what I can do here to be a blessing to others, since clearly God don't want me to leave through all the mistakes I've made. Wound up at the St. Louis City PD because I was able to avoid catching a criminal record. Wound up there, and I worked in our prisoner processing division. And that's kind of where I wanted to be, because that's detainment, that's the jail. And I wanted to be able to talk to the young brothers that were getting caught up head on, and I get to basically go to work and also counsel. But what I also realized while I was there is this thing called, in the right way, this thing called a pistol. And so when I went to the academy and I started learning about what guns really were, I started asking all these questions about, why does this one do it this way? Why does this call this? Who made this? What year did it come from? I was annoying as heck to the leaders of the academy. I was very annoying, but they still poured back into me because they knew I had a hunger for it. And, it was funny because I tried to unalive myself with a gun twice as a teenager. And now here I am at 21, and I'm in love with everything firearm. I'm learning about it. So I was able to redirect the intention of the gun and had a good time, man. And from there, I learned the craft. I studied the craft. I loved the craft. Learned from a lot of other people, studied under a lot of individuals for a lot of years. And I'm constantly studying. And then, as far as coaching and developing people to be better human beings, and also with a rifle or a pistol in our hands, I would say that I'm passionate about it, which makes me someone that I think that people should trust with the skill set, because I actually give a damn about it, because I care about human life. So from there, man, that's I found it No Other Choice. And No Other Choice is different because when a lot of individuals like yourself were coming back from, some of the battles overseas, this is, early 2000s, post 9/11, when boys and girls started circling back. I got it from a business standpoint that, Americans were all about self-protection, protection of country, protection of land during that time. And so when you have our military veterans coming back, they were taking advantage of that, which they should. I would have, right, from a marketing standpoint, saying, yeah, I was over here and I can teach you this. But the names of the companies were very aggressive, like Murder, Death, Kill Academy, Sandbox, sniper, just very aggressive. And I'm like, that might be good for you guys and girls over there, right? I don't understand all the rules of engagement overseas. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert at that. That's not my wheelhouse. But what I will say domestically is that when you are conveying that information to Americans, whether it be law enforcement or civilians, you're going to start setting them up for failure, right? And so because the guy or the girl that kicked in the door in Afghanistan had a certain set of rules, a certain mission, right? Certain consequences, maybe if you didn't do the right thing. I'm not saying it was just a free-for-all, but there were certain rule sets over there that those rule sets don't apply over here. And not only do we have different rule sets, we got 50 of them because we have 50 different states, right? So we have to understand how to play a little bit differently. So those boys and girls kicking in those doors didn't see what I saw every day. And that was American citizens losing everything, losing their homes, their savings accounts, trying to kill themselves because they realize somebody else is sleeping with my wife right now because I'm not going to be able to touch her for another 15, 20 years. Like all these things because we just want people to do stuff. And it sounds cool on the internet, but it's not the way life works. So I found it no other choice. And the premise of the meaning of the company is be at a point of no other choice before you ever cause negative impact to another human being, even if they deserve it. Extends God's grace and mercy to others as you will want to extend it to you, unless they leave you with no other choice. Then you will do your job with extreme prejudice and extreme violence and go home at the end of the day. So it is not saying be a pushover. It's saying be a person that understands that I can extend grace, I can extend mercy until a point. Now, once it gets to physical harm of me and another person or me and an innocent person, then I got to put a bad guy, where he needs to go. So I found that mentality to try to keep people out of prison. Right. So we can teach you how to do this, but let's not go to prison in the wake of it. So sorry if I start rambling there, but that's ultimately how I got started. And now here I am 25 years later, still doing it. I don't know where you went. Am I still here? There we are. There you go. Now you're back.
I'm sorry, bro. Can you hear me?
No problem.
All right. I'm sorry. I started talking to you off the camera and I was riding for a minute. Hey, but no, you spin to us all facts, all game, no matter what your background is coming from. We feel you, man. So we'll never stop you from speaking and spitting game. All right. We appreciate all of it. All right. Will you give people I know you mentioned it, but break it down a little more on why your title is the Real NOC. You mind let them know what it stands for? Break it down how you came upon it and what why you identify with it.
Well, yeah, it's outside of the philosophy and the mission statement of my brand. It's really we have to learn how to be passionate, and I would say, everything comes from an experience. And as a man that grew up in the environment I grew up in, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I grew up in an area called Walnut Park. So one of the most violent cities in the country and I'm not saying it from a braggadocious standpoint, for 30 years running, in the worst part of the city. And what I realized early on is that when it came to people outside of my circle, I mean my living circle, right? When it came to people outside of that circle that lived 40 minutes away, the environment taught me to be patient with that individual, because if I did something to them, the consequences would be more severe, right? You hurt
Right.
Tom from the suburbs, then your environment has taught you that you are going to go under the jail. Don't mess with Tom from the suburbs. But Derek from up the street, you can kill Derek. Derek step on your shoes. He so much as looks at you wrong. He whispers something about you that you think might be offensive. If Derek steps on your front lawn, throws water on your car, whatever he does to affect you in a way that you don't like, you can kill him. His life has no value. And that's what we were taught. And so what I started to notice that a lot of men from the areas I were from all around the country, were extremely violent toward each other, but extremely patient with other people in general. And because we were all being taught that. So the first thing was, let's make sure that we have no other choice before we hurt our fellow brother, because all you're doing is hurting you. When you look in the mirror, that guy is you. The guy that stays up the street, he lives in the same neighborhood. He was dealt a very similar set of conditions. He doesn't understand emotional intelligence like you don't understand. And while we're all seeking validation and respect, we don't even understand how to fully respect ourselves yet. So therefore, we're just going off what other people do to us to set the tone of disrespect, right? Because it's easier for me to say you're disrespecting me if I don't understand how to truly respect myself. Because if I respected myself, I wouldn't give a damn about your level of disrespect. I wouldn't care, right? Because I have enough value within me. So I wanted people to understand, like, man, we really should be truly at a point of no other choice before we ever start, taking these actions against each other. And let's also, in the same spirit, let's take the attitude that we were taught about Tom in the suburbs and apply it to Derek up the street. Let's just everybody be patient, right? We don't have to prove that we tough. We don't have to prove that we're capable of violence. You and me are both capable of extreme violence. So is the guy walking across the street. So is the lady that's driving past the house right now. Everybody anybody can take a life. I want to start teaching people how to save them. Right? How do you save a life? And sometimes you save a life by extending that grace and not doing, even if lawfully allowed, not doing what you can do to that person. I mean, man, if we all go back and we think about those of us that had like an, let's just say, interesting childhood, how many times did somebody have an opportunity to ruin or end your life and they didn't do it? When you really go back and you start playing these things in your mind, right? Like how many times could somebody have, you're 17, that dude's 33. You did something to affect him. Let's say you broke in that car once when you were a teenager. You know what I'm saying? You went around and maybe you stole a car. You were stealing. I know me and my friends were innocent. We used to steal people hubcaps. Right? Just the hubcaps. I wasn't talking about taking your whole car, just the hubcaps and slap them on our car because we wanted to have the car look different every weekend. Now we're 15, 16 years old. We're kids. We're not understanding, that the value of somebody else's property at this point, right? But it's still just hubcaps. But I got caught a couple of times doing it. And, the man like, man, we don't leave my car alone. They could have came outside instead of with a voice. They could have came outside with a bullet.
Damn right. You damn right.
So when I look at how other people have spared my life as a kid, especially, it's like, well, why can't we extend that grace? It's now within reason, but why can't we extend that grace, man? Why do we always want to hurt each other? Why do we always want to kill each other? And so I just wanted to take that and spread that message. And that goes for all communities, right? Because sometimes people are just violent. A lot of veterans that I talk to and have interaction with, I think our messages, although what our experience in life is different, I believe there's a ton of crossover because PTSD is PTSD. I tell people all the time, you take a guy 17, 18 years old, you put this delicate, that's still a kid, right? You take this 17, 18-year-old kid and you put him in a battle situation over wherever, pick a stand, wherever you put him over there for 4 to 8 years in conflict and combat, seeing all the unfortunate things that, you guys see. Then when he comes back at 26, he's going to have some trauma to deal with. There's a great chance of it anyway, right? Especially if they were in a combat position, they're going to have a lot of trauma to deal with. So if that can happen to a person in 4 to 8 years, when we nickname cities like Chicago, Chirac, and we lose more innocent bodies in that one city in a year that we did in an entire engagement overseas, then what is happening to our young men that are 5 and 6 years old, going through this from 5 and 6 all the way up to 18, 21? What kind of trauma are they dealing with, right? Because they're seeing their level of extreme, unfortunate violence as well. And so we all are dealing, not all, but many of us are dealing with this, and it's all in the end the same. And if we can learn how to be patient and poised, love thyself, understand thyself's issue, and then extend that grace to others, even if you have to do it in a funny way, man. I'm pretty sure we've all been there at some point in our life. We look at somebody that is trying to get us to react and we just pity them. Like, you really don't want a reaction from me. So I'm gonna smile at you and walk away because you truly don't want a reaction from me because you understand what you're capable of. All right. So that's what I wanted people to really understand. And we just took that and applied that to the gun. So the philosophy, whether it's through my speeches or when I'm teaching you how to, run that platform, philosophy is the same. Be able to do the thing, be able to do it and do it well, do it with efficiency, understand the science behind what you're doing. Oh, we're going to be able to do it with the right stuff, with the right training. But man, that's only break glass in case of emergency. Don't push my buttons. And even if you are pushing my buttons, I'm gonna make sure I don't stand around long enough for you to get the right combination. Like I'm gonna go ahead and get out of there. Because what I try to explain to people, when you are me, the individuals watching this, people that understand what they can do. I tell folks like this all the time. Sometimes we'll sit as grown men and we'll say, if you do this, I'm going to do this, and as a response of violence, right? If you do this, I'm going to do this. But then at the same time, you'll hear grown men say, man, if this was 6 years ago, I would have. If this was 8 years ago, the old me, you know what I mean? When we start having them kind of
Yeah.
conversations, and
Yeah.
I look at that and I say, you know what's funny, man? We'll say that, and we'll say that we've changed. I'm like, for the person that is pushing your buttons, that you're allowing to do that, you aren't proving to them who you are by going back to that person, by tapping back into those abilities, by going back to that way of thinking. You aren't proving to them who you are. You're proving to them who you aren't. You haven't changed at all. I just needed to push the right buttons. You haven't developed. You haven't changed. You haven't matured. You haven't learned how to cage that animal. I just got to keep on messing with the lock until I pick it open, right? And once that happens, then I set you back X amount of years. I'm celebrating this year. Well, this year I'm celebrating 14 years of being sober from violence. 14
Salute.
years. That's my sobriety,
Salute.
right? Thank you.
Congrats.
And every day I deal with violence. It's what I do. Every day. I am talking, dealing, training, studying. It's a part of my life. It was also a part of my life as a profession, part of my life growing up. It's always been a part of my life, but I haven't had to actively engage in physical conflict of any kind of heavy nature in 14 years. And that was a blessing because for all my life, every day was violence, right? And I was addicted to it. I was so addicted to it, I didn't get a high from it anymore. And I try to explain that to people. Like,
Yeah.
you think,
Yeah.
you know, it's when you can see some gun or hear some gunshots go off, you know, some people immediately duck and they run away. I stand up and
Some
walk
get
towards.
excited. Yes.
You know, right? Like,
Some, hey, especially the Marines, we get excited. Like, where is that round coming from? Let's go. We don't run. We take cover and wait to see who's
get to work. So when that level of violence for men that understand that, that's why I'm always like, man, we have to understand how to control it. We have to understand that realistically, especially with the lack of men today, we got a lot of males. I don't know if we have a lot of men. With men today, that those of us that are capable of that, we are also the people that our communities are relying upon, right? We're the ones that people are looking for strength. You know, I'm pretty sure you've heard it too. Oh, if the zombies come, I'm coming over your house. If this happens, I'm coming over your house, right? People that tell us that, but that's because society still wants to look at men for their covering. They still want to look at men for their guidance, their protection, right?
Yeah,
so it's also up to us to be that good standard. What are we teaching our young men if we are out using our level of capabilities toward individuals in an unfortunate way, an uncontrolled way, an unintelligent way, right? What example are we setting? And then what example are we setting for our daughters if all they see is a man being violent and doesn't show a man being caring, but strong, but capable, but also poised and patient, right? So that's what it was, man. And I just wanted to always push that message out there. I always push it out there. That's why with the gun stuff, I have fun. I tell people all the time, like, I'm serious about gun craft. Don't get me wrong. Very, very serious about it. It is, I study it. It's what I love. And at the same time, like when people go watch some of these YouTube videos that's coming out, man, I'm just having a good time. Because I wanted, the gun to me is joy. It's freedom. It's fun. It's interesting. It's exciting. It represents how I'm able to make sure I'm never in a cage again. It has that connection, that constitutional connection. It has the historical connection, if you understand, about us being brought over on ships and how that played out, right? And how we couldn't have guns and how slave codes started for us going back to the 1600s. People fail to realize that gun control started for us before the country was founded. And in 1776, you didn't have access to the Second Amendment because you were a car, a horse, that's all you were a piece of property. So even in 1776 and the ratification in 1791, you didn't have the freedom. You didn't have the joy of freedom in this country. Our ancestors didn't have that. So now, with all the things that have transpired since then, well, now that we do, I'm going to make sure that we don't repeat some of those mistakes, right? But then we also have to do it with intelligence. And last thing I'll leave you with, and I'll let you lead with the next line of questions, is, one thing that people need to understand, and I want you to hear me and hear me clearly. That's why I take this I'm having fun with guns, but I don't do goofball stuff with guns because I need people to understand how serious this is. Slavery is not over, nor has it ended. It never did. It became woven into the fabric of society, and it spread like a cancer to everyone. And all you have to do is read the 13th Amendment and you'll understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to paraphrase, but in the 13th Amendment, it states indentured servitude or slavery is illegal unless you are convicted of a crime and you're put into the penal system. Then it's legal. So it has never went away. The 13th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States says it still exists. Okay. You just doesn't exist in the form that you believe it. So if you take a gun and you do the wrong thing, then you become a slave by law to the system for 6 months, 60 years. Who knows? Depends on what happens. So that's why I tell people a gun is one of two things. It is either a tool of freedom or a tool of oppression. You get to choose. The only thing that's worse than being oppressed is when you oppress your damn self. So if you go out and you want to be a goofball and you're too cool to study the laws and you don't want to understand the use of force and you want to be sloppy with the tool, you think it just because, you have one of these things and you can make it go boom. That means you can shoot and you understand tactics and application and, kinesthetic learning. And you want to say that you understand all these things, hide overboard. You want to pretend like you understand these things, Hick's law, draw for concealment times, all these different things that we can throw out there. You want to pretend like you understand the nuance and the science of these things, and you don't. And then you wind up doing the wrong thing because you're too cool for school. Literally, you're too cool for school. You don't want to be trained. You just want to, talk at the local barbershop, get all your game from there, and you run around with it. And then when you get locked up or you use it in a forceful situation and you think self-defense is common sense and it's not, and you wind up in the custody of people like me, or what I used to do, then all of a sudden you want everybody to start a GoFundMe for you. Well, the education, information, and skill sets are being taught before you do all that. I would much rather you come spend $600 in a weekend, if you take 2 classes in a weekend, to come train with me, because what's a lawyer going to cost you per hour? You get 16 hours with me for $600. What's an attorney going to cost you per hour fighting your case? You will spend in one day what you spent with me in a weekend, right? To just try to get yourself out of trouble. And that's after you've leveraged your home and everything else. So a gun is one of two things. And when you apply history to it and you understand how the Constitution works, it is one of two things. Either a tool of freedom or a tool of oppression. You get to choose, man. Make a wise choice. So that also wraps up into the philosophy.
All right, bro. All right. Before we have you explain what your company, or I'm sorry, what your course and your company do with Train to Learn, I gotta ask you a personal one, right? Tell me, through your years of experience, how do you see veterans act when they get locked down?
So there was and I'm not saying that this man represents all. Let me be very clear. But there were a few examples. One of them sticks out to me right away when you asked that question. We had a vet that came in, and I know you guys like to tease each other, but just for argument's sakes, he was an Air Force veteran. Okay, and I know y'all like to give each other a hard time, but he was Air Force, and he came in and he claimed to have been a PJ. Okay, that was his claim.
All right,
Okay.
I get you. I get you.
Right, he came in, and he definitely drunk, and probably was under the influence of some other things. So law enforcement always has a heavy regard and respect for military, right? There's a large crossover there, right? So you're trying to be kind, trying to be polite to him. And he eventually, started crossing lines that shouldn't have been crossed, and saying things and doing things that were just unforgivable. And I remember being on the phone with the military base, because SOP is that whenever we get a vet or active, well, not a vet, he was actually on his way out, honestly. So he wasn't quite a vet yet. He was literally on his way out. And I think that's kind of what got him, why he was drinking so heavy, because he didn't know what he was going to do with his life. So he's literally on his way out. And so since he was still active, SOP stated we had to call the local MPs, right? And so we called over to our local military base to inform them that, hey, got this guy, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And while I am on the phone with the base, which I understand our phones are recorded, their phones are recorded. I'm on the phone with the base, and he starts telling and explaining to one of our other officers who was walking around, and he made a mistake, but he was walking around showing pictures of his family when he had a brand new baby to other officers, right? So, and the guy we got plexiglass doors, and he's looking and he sees it. And he tells him that he describes him in details about how he's going to dismember his child in front of him when he gets out.
You crossed
Let's
some
just say
motherfucking lines there.
It was that was unforgiving. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to put too much more out there about that than that. And then we did have a Marine vet. I remember this guy because me and him actually had a good conversation, and it was kind of funny how this happened. He got arrested for DUI, and at this point, I am stereotyping, but not in a way to judge. I'm stereotyping in a way to understand. I'm like, why do we? I used to always say that. Why do we have so many problems with drugs and alcohol with veterans? And then I work with some vet guys, and they would start. And mind you, I'm 23, 24 years old. I'm just trying to figure life out, and a lot of guys would educate me and tell me about, some of those things, because we still had guys that would be on reserve. They would go serve, come back, but they were active duty before they joined. And they would start breaking it down and explaining it to me. And me and this one Marine were having a conversation, and he was recon. And we were having a conversation about life. I was just walking with him. I was transporting him upstairs. And he was just talking about life, man. I think we were talking about like the value of family and men being providers and, being patient with children. It was just a DUI. It was just me and him. Very lighthearted conversation. We just chopping it up. And we walked through a door, and then and he had to stand against the wall, and then the door slammed shut. Right? It's just an automatic door. Somebody on the camera is watching it, and they push the button, and the door slammed shut. And the door slammed shut, and the first thing he did was punch me.
Huh?
Yeah. Out of nowhere. A very casual, very cool. We laughing. Like, this is nothing, right? You're gonna be out, and then DUI. You'll be fine, And he punched me, and we had to go at it because that is what it is at that point. And we got at it, and he didn't win that. And we get him in a detainment tank, and now I got to put charges on you, right? But I asked him, I'm like, why? What'd I do to you? It's one of them things, like, bro, what did I do to you? And he sat there, and it took him like 30 minutes to finally talk to me. And he was like, that door slammed shut, man, and it just snapped. Yeah. He's like, something about that door snapping shut, and I felt like I was in combat again. And you were the first person around me, and the only thing I had was a fist, and I used it against you. And so he apologized. And he was like, I didn't mean it. May the consequences be what they're going to be. And I didn't realize even in that 30 minutes, it was him coming back to himself and figuring out what even happened, right? Yeah. And so those were probably the two biggest examples I had dealing with vets in that situation outside of working with them. But even that guy, when that happened and he explained it to me, I let it go. I'm like, we're not putting no charges on him. Like, I'm a grown ass man. I done been in some fights before. It was just a fight. It's just, I'm like, it's all right. Men that have been punched in the face understand one punch is just like another. You have conflict, but that brother was in a bad situation, and he apologized, and he was willing to own it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm all right. You all right. We'll both be sore tomorrow, but we'll be all right. Let's just be men and let's push on. And we did. And I didn't press charges. He went on about his merry way. He dealt with his DUI. And I was able to say, I put some grace. Once again, I put some grace back out into the world.
KD, you ain't stacked them charges against you, man. Thank you. To a Marine.
Nah, man, it wasn't no point in doing all that.
Like that. You saw what he was going through, man. Thank you, bro. Salute To where
Not a problem.
to where you work at. Hey man, salute. I appreciate that. I appreciate. I mean, either way, if he would have had consequences, had to go another way, or like y'all had to put it down, because in anybody's mind, or especially in any military person's mind, we got this thing about thinking, especially Marines. We think we can take a cop. We think we can take a CO. But we don't realize. And sometimes, you got the kind of guys that go on suicide missions. So, you got to understand the mindset that they coming from, right?
Mhm.
They just happen to survive suicide missions, right? But I won't lie to you. Hey, on some real shit. When any motherfucking taser or sometimes a baton, I don't know so much with the pepper spray, because Marines and the Army guys, they get sent in, or at least the frontline guys, we get sent in gas chambers. You know what I mean? So we deal with CS gas, and we in there doing push-ups in the gas chamber. They make you open your mask a little bit to let some in to see how you work with it. Pepper spray, not so much. All right. But yeah, any whatever, military veteran, war or not, we forget that motherfucking taser
Hey
will
man,
make you
it's
straighten up.
well, it'll get anybody in line for sure.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
most people anyway. There are some that can walk through it, but I respect. Like I said, man, I've never served. That's not my thing. But I respect um, people that are willing to, whether you went there just for a job or whatever. The point is, you're there now, and I can have a respect for anybody that's trying to make an honest living, right? And then B, someone that is trying to do something bigger than themselves. So just from that, I respect it, right? Even though I never breathed it, I've never lived it, I'm not part of that brotherhood, but I have honor for it. I understand, I get it to a degree, best way I can. So to me, it's when it comes to being physically violent, though. Back to your point, humbly, I'm not saying, look, I don't want no smoke with a squad. I don't want a small team of SEALs or recon dudes or infantry dudes. I don't want none of y'all looking for me. Don't get me wrong, right? I don't want to be hunted, right? But at the same time, it's one of those things like, when it comes to people acting a fool, like, brother, I understand you are capable of some extraordinary things, but I ain't no punk either. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
we don't
Okay.
have to.
Hey, and that's what we respect. Any military do respect that at least you stand on your 10 and you let it know. I'm by mine. I'm going to die for mine. That's all we love.
Yeah. And then from there, I can respect it. I think that's why I get along with some guys that, got, bodies as old as my age. You know what I mean? Like the count is pretty high. But I think when we sit in rooms together and we talk as a civvy, compared to some of the resumes and stuff I'm sitting around, I will say that's what I've heard a lot. It's really just, it's not about, yeah, there's a brotherhood, right? Certain conversations I'm not allowed in, right? There's a certain brotherhood over there. But then it's also the fact that there's just a bunch of men respecting men. Like you believe in something, you got morals, you're willing to stand up, you're not a pushover, right? You're willing to fight back if you need to fight back, but also be kind when it's time to be kind, right? Because that's what men are, right? We don't go around anybody that's not kind with their level of violence, we call them a bully, right? And one thing that our United States military force, from a civilian standpoint, I can tell you, one thing we look at is you go kick the bully's ass. So when somebody's a bully, I think we all frown upon that. But no, I tell anybody real quick, like, although I don't want no smoke, I don't look for problems. I don't want no problem. I don't want smoke, Roman noodles, tofu, overcooked beef. When I say I don't want no problems, I don't want no problems. But don't test me either, right? Like, leave me alone. Now I tell people that all the time, like, leave me alone. And I'm real easy to leave alone. And I think most people, as you get older, will value this. I used to be able to say, I wish you would touch my car. I wish you, man, I like I don't, man, whatever. I'm not even attached. I have now my set of You better not is very, very small.
Bet.
And it's my family.
Bet.
Leave my wife and kids alone. Like, as long as you do that, you can even talk crap about me. I'm cool. Leave my wife and kids alone. Other than that, what can somebody really do to? But if you make me, then you'll find out real quick. You better be all you can be in this moment, because we're about to have a problem, right? But I have a lot of respect for, and I got a lot of friends that have served. I like listening to the perspectives and the stories, and hearing about the conflicts. I tell people all the time, like, man, I've been in some violence. I absolutely have. I've been in some violent situations, and it is what it is. Violence to me is just like waking up, breathing air. But I've never had to worry about the damn street blowing up, ever. I don't get in my car and think about the road literally exploding, right? I don't think about a woman running to me what I think I'm now in a position to help her, and now all of a sudden, it's a suicide vest situation. So I can only listen in those situations. I can only absorb, and I can only understand in those situations. So I think you guys have a very difficult path to walk in recovery and dealing with the stuff that happens after that. And like I've always said, I will help anybody with any situation, no different than a young boy who went through a lot when he was his teenage years, just violence on the street. And now I was trying to be a productive man. But that's why I always push men, military or not, bro, don't be too good to go seek mental health. You don't think you too tough. We all tough. I ain't never gonna ask a man, man, I'll kick in your door and take what I want. He gonna be okay, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got that. Okay, great. But man, when's the last time you went and got, as much as I want you to have your physical health checked out too, when's the last time you went and actually sat down with a therapist and just talked? Right? When was the last time you just let it out? Matter of fact, man, when was the last time you just sat down and you were honest with yourself? When you almost snapped in that road rage situation, what was that? Have you really dissected that? Remember the last time you raised your voice at your kid just for being a kid and you couldn't figure out why you were so angry? What was that really? You remember how you sat in the corner and you were trying to blame everything else on everybody until you really had a moment of honesty? Like, damn, how many times are we going to go through the apology tour before the people that we love, that we keep affecting, aren't there to be apologized to? Right? Like, so you need to go get some help, and it's okay. I call them professional friends. I see a therapist once a month. Once a month, I just sit down and I talk to my therapist. Once a month. That's it. Whether I feel something is wrong or not. Once a month. And I've been doing that for years, right? Just talk. Hey, sometimes it's easier to talk to a therapist too, because they're not connected to your personal life. So now you ain't got to worry about if your brother gonna go back and tell your sister. You ain't got to worry about if your homie gonna go tell the rest of the homies. Get you a therapist, and then have a good friend network outside of that, right? And for when you're hanging out too, military or not, and I'm actually gonna start being real forceful with you military cats, because my son just went Army. Okay. And so now I feel like I got a little bit more of a voice in the room, just a little bit. I feel like I can at least speak in the room now and I get a little bit of an opinion, just a little bit.
You got more than that, bro. You got blood in the game. You feel what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I
got him over honest there. Blood in the game. Your son.
Yeah, so now and he's not in a combat role. He's an air traffic controller. That's what he wanted to be. But he will. I know he'll be. Don't forget. I'm gonna trash it when I'm just gonna explain it. So I don't want you yelling at me for getting MOSs wrong and all that. But whatever he's doing, he's air traffic controller, but he'll be attached to the units in the field in a Humvee, running it from there.
That's what the grunts love, baby. We want to be around the guy who can call the planes when we're in trouble.
That's what he does. So he is your air support guy, like operating the equipment properly and getting it out to you.
Yes. Hey,
and I explained to him that, son, you're going to be dealing with a lot of stress because of just the position alone. Air traffic controllers in general, because of how they work and how much is happening. And then remember, you're going to not only have the lives of like people on commercial planes in your hand. Like if you don't do your job properly, you might be the reason the whole squad dies. So it's very important. And he was really holding on to that. And I told him, what I want for you to do is just once a month, call your dad. And once a month, we just gonna talk about how you were feeling. It ain't gonna be about, now you better call me more than once a month. And if he watched this, he know I'll threaten him. But at least once a month for just a checkup call. Like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on? That way, if I start seeing the signs, I can tell him, or the cool thing about it is I'm quick to say what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. So I have so many military veteran friends that'll be like, all right, put me on the phone with him. And then they can start, walking, hey, go over here, file this paper, go do whatever. Right.
Yeah.
They can start walking them through. So, but go, man, look, talk to somebody. Why would you go fight? Why would you go fight to defend people only to come back and allow yourself to unalive yourself? Right? Like, because then you can't be the societal weapon we need you to be to make sure domestically we're all still okay. And that's even just being a good mentor. That's even just, helping the old lady across the street, or setting values and standards that you brought back from that lived experience in the service. So now we need y'all to survive too, man. We need y'all to survive. And men in general, we need y'all to survive, because I'll tell you, that guy that went overseas, or that girl even that went overseas and did all that stuff. And even if you didn't do nothing, right? Even if you went over there and you didn't see combat at all, you put yourself in position, so you still get the same credit from me, right? But even when you come back, understand, whether you are a military vet, you just say you're a dad that didn't have a dad, and now you're just trying to do the best you can to raise your kids. You are just somebody that's trying to help out your local community. You're somebody that just wanted to specialize in being an advocate or an activist for whatever you believe in. You're somebody that just wants to make sure you're building generational wealth for your family to come because you didn't have it before. Whatever your vision in life is, if you are doing it for betterment, you are a hero. Period.
Salute.
Right? Doesn't take experience to make you a man, right? Like, I am not a military veteran. I am not a reformed felon, right? I'm not either one, and I'm not saying those are the same, but I'm not either one of those things. But in the end of the day, I can stand next to a reformed felon. I can stand next to a military veteran. I can stand next to a man that just gets up every day and dumps trash to make sure he feeds his family. I can stand next to a carpenter who's getting out there building roofs and all those different things. And what we all have in common is that we are men doing manly shit. We're taking care of people. People rely on us. We're trying to make sure we're doing our part. We're paying our taxes. We all are serving in the best way that we know how to be men at the end of the day. I can stand next to a line of people all day long that serve in different ways and are looked up to as heroes in different ways to make sure that we're building a better community. So, all that to be said, that doesn't help if you don't go get mental checkups, right? So one organization I'll shout out right now, and it might be something good for you to be aware of if you're not, but I think you've probably heard of them before. Walk the Talk America. Walk to Talk America is a mental health resource that is also pro-gun, started by a gun guy. Okay, so you don't have to worry about all the tests and screenings over there are free and anonymous. So, and military veterans are more than welcome as well. It's Walk to Talk America. You can plug it into your Google machine. I think it's walktotalkamerica.org for the internet. But Walk to Talk America, you can take a free screening, free exam, anonymous, and kind of see where you are. And if you need help, that organization is there to help. And you don't have to worry about them doing anything to help you be relieved of your firearms, because they, once again, are started by a gentleman by the name of Mike Sedini, also backed up by another guy named Jake. And Jake is I always say a therapist, and Mike Sedini is very passionate about the craft as well. But Mike ran one of the largest firearm importers in the country for years. So he's as pro-gun as they come. They just want to help. So go over to Walk to Talk America, get you some help.
Does that look right for you, the information on the screen, KD?
Yep, I can still hear you.
I mean, is that right? Like the website and the name?
Walk
right?
to Talk America. Yeah, I think it is walktotalkamerica.org. Let me plug it into my phone real quick. I'm horrible with websites. I'm spoiled on Google. I just go to Google. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Also, man, I want to check your time hack. I know you're a busy man. Let me
Yep,
see
I'm
where
checking
we're
that
at.
right now. It looks like I've been
All right.
yep, walkthetalkamerica.org. Look at that. I did a good job. And let me see what my time's been extended to. I got a little bit over 20 more minutes. I'm cool.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. Well, we, hey, I appreciate it. The audience appreciate it, but personally, I just appreciate you spit game the way you do, man. Hey, but want to get back to the fact that, bro, I personally don't discredit you in any way. What you did, seen, so on. All right, I'm not one of those guys who, thinks military was, what it was like, different from. Because I told you, I always had a mindset like somebody somewhere is going through worse, whether through
Hmm.
growing up, whether through dealing with, abuse, human trafficking, sexual assault, just violence, and you know what I mean. There's so many things. I don't think my story is shit, and I don't, get to that, so I don't complain about mine so much. But, bro, your story and the words you spit, please don't downplay who you are in corrections, law enforcement, and the 2A Second Amendment gun space. All right. Please don't. I mean, salute military, law enforcement, but they don't know that other side of you. And that's where I'm trying to get at from this point of the show. All right.
Yes, sir.
In
Thank
the
you very
in
much.
the in the 2A space, right? As well as your course. Um, I want to make sure I'm saying I've seen it plenty of times, but when I'm live, I sometimes I all right. Train to learn. Am I right?
Yeah, so train and learn. Um, so train and learn, there are two different sides when it comes to kind of what I do in the 2A space. So one side of it is the trainer. Well, I'm a coach. I'm not a trainer. I tell people all the time, like coaching. If you understand what a coach is, you'll appreciate that. So I'm a self-defense coach with an emphasis on firearms. So that's the side. So I travel the country, provide classes. As I'm sitting talking to you, I'm still, trying to rest. We supposed to do this yesterday, and I wound up getting back from Minnesota real late. I didn't get back to almost 2 o'clock in the morning to get home. So it was lit through my day off. But I get the pleasure of traveling, teaching. I'll be in 5 or 6 more states before the end of the year. All that is fun. So that's heavy focus on rifle and pistol and different things that come up under those umbrellas, right? Those are my heavy focus. We are now sprinkling with a little bit more shotgun because I'm able to bring on some other staff members that have more experience in that. So we'll be passing on some of that knowledge as well. But right now, it's pistol rifle from everything from, hey, I've never shot one before to, look, I carry one for a job and I need to understand how to properly, operate this thing, right? So everybody in between. And you can check that out at nootherchoice.com. Then there's the website that sells products and things like that too. If you support the 2A, support somebody that lives and breathes it. So you want to buy a new red dot, you want to buy a new light, you want to buy all that stuff, go to my website and buy it, right? Because we have it there. And the difference between me and other people, like if it don't work, it ain't on my site, right? Like, because I try things. That's the privilege of doing what I do on the reviewer side. I get to actually try things, see if they work, and see how they apply to life-saving situations and give you honest feedback about them. So
Bro,
there's that. And
will you repeat the website and the title to that so I
yeah,
can share it?
website is nootherchoice.com.
All right.
Yep. So just nootherchoice.com. And then once you're in that ecosystem, which after the recording of this, within 72 hours, the website even flip and look a little different, but theme will be the same. But yeah, you can go over there, shop to your heart's content. We got like 600 SKUs over there. I would say like these things, I couldn't even get these on the website, by the way, but like shot timers, good gear and equipment. The Shooters Global Shot Timer here. I actually got a bunch of these in and just told people if they were paying attention to my Instagram, I had them. And we sold out of these in 5 minutes. Yeah, I think 5 minutes we sold out of these jokers. So we have different stuff over there. Go check that out. Then there is Train and Learn. So Train and Learn is an annual event, and it's geared toward the professionals in the firearms industry. Professionals are podcasters, YouTubers, bloggers, writers, instructors, anybody, marketing reps, FFLs, gun clubs, anybody in the realm, the professional realm of what we do. The only person it's not for is the end consumer, because the event's not set up for the end consumer. You have to have a brand, a business, or outreach organization of some sort, right? It only makes sense because that's what we're there to help. Now, it's day one. It is all focused on business and how to be better at the business of what you do. So we have different people come in that are subject matter experts in business, right? So you need to understand how to develop a business, how to properly do your taxes. Like next year, we have an attorney coming in talking about trademarks and copyrights, right? You're going to talk about, your taxes, how to structure yourself, what marketing is truly, and all these different concepts, right? We have individuals come in and speak about. And so day one, we do that. And we have some you talking about gems being dropped at Train and Learn. It is absolutely phenomenal. So we do that day one, and it's all about making you better at your brand and your business. And we have very straightforward, tough conversations. Like if you want to understand what sponsorships look like, then it's good to be in a room where we're actively talking about how to obtain sponsorships. How was I able to have 3 major sponsors and I only had 483 or 500 followers on Instagram? I was able to do that.
You're a boss,
right? Well, it's all just understanding the needs of others and what the market looks like and stuff like that. And then day 2, we go out and we get on the range and we work, right? So that's going to always be a rifle and pistol. Those are always going to be concrete. And then after that, we'll do 2 soft skills. So this year we had my brother, Instructor Blue, came down and did our carbine teaching. Phenomenal guy. If you're not hip to Instructor Blue, check him out on Instagram at just Instructor Blue. Really, really good dude. You'll know you when you see him because he looked like somebody inflated him with an air pump. He just walk around like this. You know what I'm saying? Also a military veteran. Good dude. I love him. He's a good guy. So he came down. We had independence training, do our medical training. We had Chris with FTAC from Florida came in and did our pistol training. And then for our, what am I missing? We had Mitch with Nova Defense come in and do some hand-to-hand, empty hand combatives in and around the vehicle. So we have good stuff. Our sponsors get to present their information, what they offer, because they're looking for people to work with. So they get to present their information, what they offer, also doing Saturday. And then after we do all the training, because you'll do 4 classes in one day, after we do all the training, we are then, we having a good time. We have a night vision experience for those who've never experienced it before. All right. So you get to go over and you get to see what it's like under nods, while at the same time, we are being responsible, but we do a bourbon and cigar pairing class. So now you can sit your butt down. And if you partake, you get to learn about how to pair a bourbon with a cigar properly. All right. And then we feed you and we laugh the night away. It's game time. We're just having a good time. I mean, I had to get some people together on the spades table this year. Man, come on in here, get this work. I had to put them out there and get them on the spades table. And then I put the, cornhole out there for the other folks. But right now we finna come on here in the spades table and y'all finna get this work. All right. But just having a good time, bonding, getting to know each other, stuff like that. And then Sunday is all about bringing the skill sets that you've learned over the last 2 days together, creating content around them. We do some friendly competitions. We award people with certain things. We create content because it's there for you to create content. And we added in this year that we did 3 ancillary courses. So if you are an instructor and you just want to talk about instruction, we had Kerry Dugan of Archangel Defense come down, and he has a series called The Hurtful Truth about why instructors suck. And we did it live. So we stood in front of 30 people and talked about why you suck. But it was great. Everybody learned. We also had the ladies of the 2A, where all the women in the 2A got to go off and have an empowerment conversation to themselves without no male influence, or they got to go out and discuss all things women. And then we also had a class doing more with less, led by Visuals by Jay, and what he was educating people on is how to take one of these, if this is all you got in your creative budget, and expand the capacity of it, right? To really make your content shine, right? So stuff that somebody would charge you thousands of dollars to get, along with the fact we give you 3 meals, a swag bag, and all kind of the cigar. Everybody gets a cigar on the house and 1 pour of bourbon on the house. So we give you all that stuff, and the ammo that's required for your training, we also provide, and you get that entire weekend for $400. So you're getting upwards of 12 classes, ammo, 3 hot meals, swag bag, and an opportunity to have other assets for your business, plus the network you get and all the event stuff. Yeah, you over 3 days, $400. And so Train and Learn is held every Memorial Day weekend, and we end it on Sunday. We start Friday at 3 o'clock, and we're done Sunday at 3 o'clock, because I do want people that observe Memorial Day for what it's meant to be observed for. They have plenty of time to have the event and also get home. And that way, if they want to, honor the day for the way it should be honored, they're back at home. Most people have that extra day off work, so they get to travel back home, and they get to observe the day, sit down, get a rest, and then head back to regular work on Tuesday or whatever it may be. So every Memorial Day weekend. So it'll be the 22nd through the 24th of 2026. We only do it once a year. 22nd through the 24th, just south of Atlanta. So you might as well just say Atlanta. You will fly into Atlanta Hartsfield or drive up to Atlanta, and that's where it's at. It's out at the Greenwood Project, which is the community center meets gun range project I just opened down here.
Hold on, go into that. I didn't know about that. You just opened a gun range? Holla at me.
Yeah. I try to do
that
stuff.
was a part of the whole. What's up? Tell me about that part, please.
Yeah. So Greenwood it's 45 minutes south of Atlanta. So yes, it's a gun range, but no, it's not a gun range at all. So it's weird. You got to hang in there with me. So Greenwood is a place meant for community rebuilding and vitalization. So at Greenwood, the goal is with the 40 acres I bought, and I bought 40 acres for a very specific reason. With the 40 acres that were bought, it is about helping. So we started off with the children. And so we already have the Kids to Kings program, which is in coordination with Walk the Talk America and Aiming for the Truth, which is my nonprofit. We work with the children, and we are helping the kids do things like reading, writing, financial literacy, de-escalation skills, emotional intelligence. We are gentleman etiquette courses. We're teaching these young boys how to be young men, while at the same time allowing them to have a place to vent. Because most of these kids coming from the urban environment, we're giving them a place to vent and be free while exposing them to other things. Because while they're out there learning these things, they're also learning about guns, right? So they'll do guns for 2 hours, and they have to do a soft skill for 2 hours, which is one of the things I just named. All right, we got lawyers coming down. We got career path opportunities where they get to hear from other professionals about what they might want to be. I mean, hell, we even had the stunt doubles for the Avenger movies out at the property doing some training. And so they got to show the kids and tell the kids about what it's like to be, like on the set of a movie like Avengers and how they're stunt devils and stuff like that. So letting them see some of the cool stuff behind the scenes.
NOC.
And then we have an area that we've gotten together for a farm, a small little farm, and then a small garden. The garden's going to be up first. So we're going to allow community members to come in and plant and grow gardens. So what I'm going to do for that is allow other nonprofits that don't have space, because they're taking a lot of the urban space where we used to be able to do it in the middle of the hood, and they're kind of taking those away because they're selling them to developers. But I will allow them to come on Greenwood and run the garden. My mandate is, though, you have to at least open it up once a week for the regular community to come down. So I want regular people to be able to come down, get their hands in the dirt, understand how to garden, how to take care of things, how to grow, how to self-sustain, right? And then once the crops are grown, the children are then going to understand all the costs that went into it, man hours that went into it, how to evaluate those costs, and then they sell it. But they understand how to price it. They have to do their own market research. They have to understand, who else around the area is pricing it at what. how much went into it, what was the total cost opportunity, what margins are, how do you validate margins, what your profit split is going to be, how you reinvest the money you make back into your business to see it grow. So they're going to get to do all that firsthand, right? Do all that firsthand with the crops that are grown. So it's like a 360 full learning experience. And then on top of that, we have the range portion. The range portion is just that. It's, we have the ability to shoot. We're also doing archery, but you have the ability to shoot guns, and we have the ability to teach people how to be safe with those guns. So there is a training portion of it. We got our first 2 out of 8 active areas that we're going to have out there. We got 2 of them up. We'll be pushing for 8. It probably take us another 5 years to get there, but we got it going. I mean, the first bay is a little bit over a football field square, and if you can't do something in that, I don't know how to help you. Our second bay is about 45 by 80, 45 by 90, which is also a fairly large area. You can do plenty of work with that. And then we're going to be pushing more of those activity areas in, along with some other stuff. And the Greenwood, in its essence, the reason it's titled Greenwood is after the 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma race massacre. And the tagline to the property is rebuilding what was lost, protecting it at all costs. You ain't burning me out of shit. All right. So everybody's welcome, just like they were at the real Greenwood. We don't discriminate against color. I want everybody out there. I got my number 2 right-hand man is a white guy. Like, I want everybody to come out, have a good time, enjoy this freedom, bring your families, learn a skill together. Let's have fun. Let's all do this stuff together. Let's make better human beings together. Let's pour back into these children. Let's get them outside. Let's get them camping. Let's get their hands back in the dirt. Let's get them out of these violent environments. And I would love for a kid that maybe doesn't have that experience, but maybe grew up on a farm all his life, to then come in and meet these kids. That way we ain't talking through the internet. We talking face to face, right? Build some of those different unions and relationships. So it's for everyone. I don't want anybody to feel like they're not welcome at Greenwood. You absolutely are. But at the same time, ain't no firebombing going on. Ain't none of that, right? And so we want to rebuild and pour back into individuals. But once again, we'll defend it at all costs, period. You're not running me off my land. And that's what it is, right? And anybody there, you ain't running them off either. We are going to rebuild. We're going to be honest people. We're not going to take from other people. We're going to learn how to be good pillars of society. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to teach people to be respectful to their fellow man. We're going to do all those things: patience, poise, resolve, emotional intelligence, control, all those things.
We try to tell the people again. First, I was trying to give them the website. Aim for
no. So the website. So it's kind of the way it works. So the title, the umbrella nonprofit, is called Aiming for the Truth. You're not going to find that on a website. What you can do is the Give, Send, Go to learn the most about Greenwood is givesendgo.com/Greenwood. So givesendgo.com/Greenwood. And it'll tell you all about the Greenwood Project, which is under the umbrella Aiming for the Truth. We just titled it the Greenwood Project. And the Greenwood Project is nonprofit. We are always looking for donations to help us out, expand this place. We had some really, really good sponsors to come in and help out with it. So shouts out to Brownells and the USCCA, and then myself and all the people that are poured into it. Double Tap Coalition. I don't know. Sylvester always changing. Sylvester Pierce, because he always changing the name of his dang on company. That brother, we've had various people come out and pour into it, give their all, help out with this property, whether they're associated with the brand or the choice or just friends, right? A lot of people have come out and poured a lot of sweat equity into the property. And obviously there's also some financial support we could use. So givesendgo.com/Greenwood. You can read all about it. And you can even see, all the money's public. You can see what's raised and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And Aiming for
the Truth is the nonprofit is under, but you'll find all the information at givesendgo.com/Greenwood.
And one last thing. I have always heard, take a look at the screen. Let me know if that's correct. I have always heard, right, For any
Yep.
influencers that were trying or want to or potentially enter the 2A space as content creators, influencers, I've heard that your course, Train to Learn, is the best and has, revolutionized things for them. Uh, uh, a guy that I do a combined uh, black men is I call it brunch brothers. A guy named Powder Podcast. He's actually been through your course, I think. And so, if you don't mind, as well as the entire Train to Learn does, just let those 2A influencers, enthusiasts, potential creators, let them know how well what you teach
You
puts
know,
them in the game.
it kind of goes like this. It's like when you kind of called me out about, man, if you don't, you know, live in what you do and who you are, boy, say it with your chest, kind of like when you were kind of getting on me about that, right? The reason I'm so taken back, man, is because I realized how blessed I am. I'm not even supposed to be alive, let alone having an impact on people's lives, right? So when it came to I've been involved in firearms for literally a quarter of a century now, right? The correct way. That's not even other crap, right? So
Yeah.
when I look at that, when I decided to publicly come out, I have been behind the scenes for a while, just back in St. Louis, doing my thing, teaching, training. Just, this is before the internet was really a big deal like that. I was just a local guy helping people, right? That was great. That was cool. I was fine with that. And I was still studying and developing my craft myself. But when I decided to say something publicly, like really say something, I was already on the set of a TV show. And that's before I had really started to go public. I had just put my toe out there for a year or so and was just talking and sharing information. And then when I decided to really say something and really put my feelings out there, it was the right message at the right time, and it blew up. And I started immediately getting requests for interviews, phone calls, product, like it happened. And the more I would show up on these large platforms, the more the companies will reach out and, so forth and so on. I'm like, okay, right. And there were a lot of people that put me in positions, right? Like, one guy I'll call out because I say it publicly all the time. I'm gonna give people their flowers when they deserve them. Was Coleon, right? Now, War was not quite as large as he is now, but even way back then, when I was invited on his show by his producers, we hadn't even met in person. By his producers, the moment he heard me talk, he would walk through a door and put gum in the lock to make sure it couldn't lock behind him. You get what I'm saying? Like he would always do stuff to make sure that opportunity was left open. And then I had other people that would do the same for me. The guy Mike Sedini that runs Walk the Talk America supported me from day one when he was a gun manufacturer from day one. Like I've had a lot of great people that had a lot of resources and assets put me in position. A lot of VPs, presidents, content creators. Like a lot of these guys, once they met me, they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna help. I like your mission. I like what you stand for. How can I help?" So I'm blessed. It wasn't me coming in like, "Oh, look at this. I got all the answers." I was extremely blessed. And I'm still blessed to have some of the friends that I have now, right, in this space. So all that to be said, I was able to learn a whole lot of stuff that a lot of people don't get access to, right? Because I was put in the right rooms immediately. It wasn't no, "Oh, you got to wait 10 years. I was immediately put into the right space. Now, I also brought my uniqueness, my message. I was an asset to the room, right? Along with the fact that when it comes to business, we don't like talking about this. Everybody's supposed to be just tough and rough in the gun space. But I have 2 business degrees. One's a graduate degree. I understand business.
Salute.
Right? So, yeah, we can do that, but we can use this too. So how do we, I want to be respected for my mind too, not just my brawn and my sexy good looks. I want you to respect me for my mind. You know,
Tell him.
so I'm like, all
Tell
right,
him.
let's do this. Let's do this, and let's try to push it to a new era. And then, so all that to be said, what I realized is people would be calling me, man, and asking me questions. And I'm not saying I had the answers all the time, but I would at least try to help find the answer, right? And so we all trying to figure this stuff out, and people call me. And then I realized that people lazy and wasting my time. And so now you are very hard pressed unless you are an alumni of mine. I'm not gonna sit on the phone with you and talk to you about business. Show your ass up to train to learn. Put some skin in the game. I did this entire weekend. So basically, I'm taking my Rolodex, like all the questions somebody would be asking me. I bring all the people that I would ask. I bring them and put them in a space for you. Now I do have answers. Don't get me wrong. I have been around for a while, but I'm only looked at the way I'm looked at because I have a lot of smart individuals all the way around me, right? That I can go and learn from. So I'm bringing a sample size of these people into a space, and I'm only asking you for $400 over 3 days for you to have information given to you, help your brand grow, put you out there, potential sponsorship deals, all the stuff that's really going to teach you the business or give you a taste test of the business of what we do, so you don't have to make the mistakes others have made, including myself, right? So you can get a head start, so you understand these programs, these things, and you now have a network and a Rolodex, if properly used correctly. So come there, because I'm not going to sit on the phone with you, and forgive me, I'm just being honest. You're not going to waste my damn time sitting on the phone with somebody that's unmotivated, that just want to suck energy from me, don't want to do nothing, want everybody to carry it for you. You want to not work hard, but you want me to give you access to all my folks. You want to not work hard. I didn't get on the cover of Time magazine because I was lazy. I don't show up in multiple publications because I wasn't putting work out. You know, I don't get the pleasure of traveling and teaching because I'm not trying to learn more about marketing and being willing to sacrifice. I don't get invited places because I don't work hard. So I want people to come to Train to Learn, and once you're there, I am yours. I am all about you. It's customer service and education. I am 100% dialed in, making sure that me and the professionals that I've trusted to bring in front of you are there for you, your growth, your brand, your business, the Second Amendment, all the things. I am 1,000% embedded in making sure you are successful. But I ain't coming to get you. I ain't chasing you. And I ain't sitting on the phone with your ass trying to convince you that you need to come invest in you. That is not going to happen anymore. I'm not allowing people to waste my time. And that's how I started Train to Learn. Like, I just want to put everybody in a space for everybody to learn. And I'll know who's serious by who shows up. You don't show up, then I'm not saying you're not serious about your brand or your business. I'm not saying you're not serious about me helping you with your brand and your business, because it's not even me. I am putting you in position with other people. It's like me taking my Rolodex and putting it out there for you, right? So if that's not good enough, if all you want to do is run a range days and shoot guns, and that's how you figure you're going to do it because you're waiting on the first viral hit, yeah, but you get a viral hit, but you don't understand, CPM. You don't understand proper conversion. You can have a video that's got 20, 30 million views, and how are you able to leverage that for any kind of compensation, and not necessarily just monetary, but compensation for growth, right? Where's your social credit with that? Did you understand how to truly use that as a network, or you just want to be cool? If you just want to be on the range, shooting guns, having fun, great. I don't think nothing's wrong with that. Sounds like a good life to me, especially if you can afford the ammo to keep doing it. Awesome. But Train to Learn is for business professionals. Train to Learn is for people that want to truly understand, whether it's a gun club, like how do I get more resources and grow and market my gun club so it can be better? What about my FFL? What about the fact that I'm a manufacturer, right? Or I'm just a simple entrepreneur, or I do have a training company, or I do run a podcast, or I am a writer, or I am a blogger, right? Like, I want to be around like-minded people for 3 days that are about the business of what we do, while at the same time establishing networks, communication, friendships, some downtime, some laughter, kind of having that synergy and that bond with people that are just as stressed out as you. So when do we get a chance to kind of breathe and just talk to each other, and be human and build those kind of connections? So that's what Train to Learn is. So the target, and I pull no punches. My staff always get on me. They say I'll be saying too much, but I'm just trying to say, I want individuals that want it. That's what I'm saying. And if you want it and you're about your professional game or you want to learn it, that's why we don't have restrictions on, man, sorry, WarDawg, we only got 1,000 followers, fam. We ain't gonna be able to invite you in. No, I got people literally with millions of followers there, and I got people with 1,000. Because one day, somebody in this room with that 1,000 gonna be the one with 1,000,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's not it's not a classism thing with me. Who want the work? Who want to do it? Even if you take everything that you got back to just your local community and you make a positive, impactful change there, awesome, right? But where are the people that want to work? That is what Train and Learn is for. It's the industry's first of its kind. We had a couple of people try to copy it after I did it, because it's kind of what happens. We come through with great ideas and other people want to mimic it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we had that happen a couple of times. But Train and Learn it has a synergy that can't be duplicated. You know that you're respected when you walk in that room. You know that people aren't taking advantage of your presence. Everybody that is there to pour into you is giving you all the information. You're not being hustled. You're not being asked to show up and somebody just taking your money. You are being literally poured into. You are treated. There are 60 other people in the room with you, and yet you are treated like you're the only one. You are being shown that if you want it, we want it for you, because if one of us is strong, all of us are stronger. And so that's what Train and Learn is. But you got to be ready to come in and take notes. You got to be ready to take this information and go put it in the work. You got to be willing to come in and say, okay, boom. All right, I don't like that when I first heard it, but let me digest that a little bit and see if that does play a part. Oh, I'm going to really learn what networking is, because right now in the two-way space, you know what people think networking is? I'll tell you what they think networking is. They think networking is catching you at a show, right? Walking up to you, if you're a company, walking up to you and saying, yeah, man, I'm cool. I could sell a few of these. You ought to send your boy one. That ain't networking. You're a leech. And that's how they're talking about you when you walk away. Unless they look at your followers and they see, oh, 800,000 people. Hold on. Now listen, you know. But what about when you don't have that kind of leverage? What about when you don't have that? So you're walking up and you're going to ask somebody for like a widget like this. This is a $300 part, right? So what do they get back from you? How do you understand and explain what truly the return on investment is for messing with you? Do you understand niche marketing and the psychology behind niche marketing and how it funnels down from major marketing? Do you? You understand colorways and pathways about what you even put into your marketing agenda? You understand how colors affect it? Do you really? Or did you just try to Google it now that I said it out loud, right? Do you really, really, truly understand how these things play a part, right? Do you understand about keeping them in ecosystems, but also being a benefit to people, not just somebody asking them for something? Do you understand how to give back to a person so they feel like every time they give you something, it's just a drop in a bucket compared to what you've been doing? Do you? Do you understand? That's just marketing. Do you understand really how it works? Should you be an affiliate marketer, or should you look into wholesaling the products? Well, if you're gonna look into wholesaling the products, that comes with some startup capital. Do you have the startup capital? I don't know. What else do you do? Oh, I'm a trainer. Well, maybe you ought to look at how we expand your classes, and then that's a part of the investment back into your business. So instead of you sending your students to this website to buy this thing, how many students of yours are gonna need this? Oh, about 80% of them come through and they need this thing. Are you taking 80% of people that know you and you sending them outside of your network? Oh, okay. Well, we need to work on getting that capital for you can keep them in, and then you can make the margins, and then you can discount it so then they can get it cheaper from there, and then you keep them in your network, and then you only send them out when you can't procure certain things. But even with that, that's when you then do an affiliate code, so you get some type of kickback. But make sure your audience or your students understand what you're going to be giving them in return, so they have a vested interest in going to shop or wherever you send them. But have you even thought about that, plotted that out, looked at that? Look at the return on that. What's the investment of that? Did you understand what it's going to cost you for drop shipping software every month? Did you even know that you can drop ship a bunch of gun parts? But what does it cost you, right? What does it cost you? And then you still have to go out there and buy the product, because if you're going to drop ship it, you still got to have one in your hand. So what you going to do? You're going to go to say a company and say, hey, this widget costs $200. I need for you to send me this widget. Cool. You know what said company's going to say? Great. I need you to create some kind of content or form with this widget. You're going to do it one of two ways. You're going to create a piece of content that they're going to look at and say, great, we hope this goes viral. It's clean. It explains our product well. Or they're going to want you to create content that's going to drive traffic back to their website, because every business is a narcissist and they're all about self. So they're going to want traffic back to their website, right? So if you're not driving traffic back to their website, guess what? Now you're not needed. You're not useful. But you know what you could have did to avoid that whole problem? Plus now you got a bad mark on your relationship in the industry and people are going to spread that mark about you. You know what you could have did, man? You possibly could have reached out and been like, all right, this widget costs $200. I'm going to go on my margins. Every time I sell it, I got 30 to 35% margin in this product. Okay, what's the map on this? Okay, let me go check out the map. Then you need to understand, and I'm not going to get a game here, you need to understand the rules and regulations pertaining to map. And then once you go out there and you understand MSRP and you understand map and you understand the game, and you go look up and do some research on other people and what they're moving it for. Then you understand how coupons can be a part of what you're doing. Then you got to understand how you can be a benefit to your end student. This ain't about taking advantage of people. It's about there being a win-win. So I can go put it up for an affiliate and get 3%, 4% per kickback on an affiliate code. The company that sent me the $200 widget is going to be happy because they'll be getting the traffic. And then they pay me out 3, 4, 5% of that traffic. That might be a great plan depending on what the widget is. That could be a phenomenal plan. That could be great. That could really work. That could be what you should be doing. Or, depending on what the product is, who you are and what you move, what if you can make 30% profit every time you sell it? So what you want? You want 3 to 5? Or you want 25 to 30? Say, let's call it 25. Let's just say because you got your shop costs, like your shipping costs, your printer, your paper, and all that, right? But then I'm gonna ask you, well, do you have a space for it? Because you don't have space in your home for it, or if you're not willing to buy rent like an office space or something, then you might not have it. So it might not be the best thing for you. So boom, you might really need to go whoop ass in affiliate marketing. But what does that require? What's the philosophy of your channel currently? Are you going to start a new channel? Well, that's a whole nother task, right? So it's all these different things. I can go on a rant forever. And then every time I say something, there are 18 steps below it, right? So what are you really willing to put in? If you want to know the answers, that was just off the top of my head, a very elementary, easy stuff. Then you need to be a trainer learner, because that's where we're having these conversations. And we're not having the conversations with people that are guessing. We're having the conversations with people that do it. Right, that are willing to share the game. So that's where it's at, man. Yeah, train and learn, and it's a vibe, and we kick it, and we have a good time. Yep, we have a good time. I know I got RBF real bad, but trust me, I'm a nice person. We have a good time. And no, I am only going to apologize so much for me sounding very direct, but you're a damn professional. You should be. You should care about your professional standard. You should care about, how do you sustain your business. I don't want to see people constantly going out of business. Because every time that happens, every time a podcast gets shut down, every time a manufacturer goes out of business, we are losing a representative of freedom. We all get weaker, right? So I want to keep everybody around. I can't reach everybody you can reach. So I need you around to reach them, right? It's like, so we all have to work in some type of unison to go out and keep freedom alive, keep this messaging alive. So that's what Train and Learn is, man. And I'm not going to pull no punches. You lazy, don't come. It ain't for you. I don't even want to waste your time or your money. And I don't mean lazy like you like sitting on the couch eating you some Cheetos at night chilling, man. You do your thing. I'm talking about putting in the effort when it is time to work. I don't give a damn what you're doing your off time. But when it's time to work, you want to work, or you want to just still sit back? Oh, yeah, man, I can't figure it out. One of my favorite things now to hear is, oh, man, yeah, I'm a black man. There ain't no room over here for me. But it's a black man that started this event. That's one of the most diverse events you'll ever walk into. You walk in the Train and Learn, it's everybody. America is there. I tell people that all the time, right? America is in that room. They didn't make no excuses. I didn't hear them say, oh, I'm a white guy, I can't do it. Oh, I didn't hear the females go, well, I'm a girl, I can't do it. So everybody in this room willing to work and willing to figure it out and work together and share information, because fuck all the other stuff. Right now, We're all Americans trying to expand freedom and do it in a way that's conducive for us, our families, and the American people. But you are going to sit back and say, I can't do it because of this, when it's somebody who looks like you that started this whole event? Okay. Stay your ass at home. You ain't ready. When you mentally ready, show up. Because right now you ain't ready. You still got a victim mentality going on, right? I didn't walk into this game. Mind you, when I came in, it was, publicly, it was Reverend Ken Blanchard is the OG of this shit with us. He literally wrote the book, A Black Man with a Gun. You should go read it if you never read it. Reverend Ken Blanchard literally wrote the book, was doing this kind of work before the internet was a thing. The Reverend Ken Blanchard. My guy, a ton of respect for him. When I showed up, it was Noir, Argo J, Maj Toure, Kevin Dixie. 4 brothers, and then we started seeing other people sprouting up. But these are the 4 I remember. And we're all just out. If we never, oh man, well, there ain't no black guys out there talking about gun stuff, so I guess I should just stay quiet. You think I give a,
You're right.
You think freedom belongs to a certain group of people? Oh, no. If you believe, look, get up off your lazy ass, stop making excuses. If you want to come work, Train and Learn is for you. And we will surround you with all kind of people from all kind of walks of life that just want to see you win. If you don't want that, if you just want to sit back and bitch because that's easier to do, and you don't want to go after it, but say you want to be in a gun space, then, stay at home, keep scrolling and giving other people, positive traction on their algorithm while yours never grows. So there's that option. Sorry if I went on a rant there. I have a tendency to do that.
No, bro, you gotta understand. You and I are in the same space. So I'm sorry, not the exact same space, because I'm not healthy enough to be tactical. You know what I mean? Since the war and the metal in my body. But this is why I try to connect. This is my way of trying to connect with those in the 2A space. So I still feel as a veteran that I'm close to shooters, man. But all right, 2 quick things before we let you go. I want to let everyone know that you have already been through the game as, YouTube channel, brand ambassador, influencer, CEO of your so everyone knows you have already run the gamut on, advertising products, et cetera, et cetera. You've been there and progressed. And then I'm sorry, the second one is I've only been to SHOT Show. That was 2024. I do not know all the damn events that go on, Gun Con, Trigger Con. If you could just name as many as you can to let people know the shows that they could show up at, not just that they could see you, but just so people know, because I don't even know where to find them besides SHOT Show, man.
Now you're just trying to get me yelled at, man. I don't know them either. Hold on, let me. There's a lot of them. So I'm gonna say that I'll work backwards as far as events go. I'm gonna tell you one that I really enjoyed. Now, this is taking obviously my bias for the professional industry side of what we do. I'm gonna take Train and Learn off the table for now, right? Because I obviously have a bias. Outside of Train and Learn, GunCon is legit. GunCon is legit. That's a really, really dope event. I think that in my mind, as far as like costs go for tickets, the amount that you get for it, all the vendors and all the regular people that are there and all the influencers that are there, the patent team does a pretty good job. So GunCon will be high up on my list. Like if you can make it to nothing, make it to GunCon. So GunCon, and I have not been to TriggerCon. TriggerCon is something that I wanted to go to when I was living back in the Midwest because it's right outside of my hometown. It's not far, but I never got a chance to make it just because of scheduling conflicts. I will say that I did receive a DM from them. They personally invited me this year.
Okay.
We exchanged. I'll see if we complete that deal, if their team comes through. So there'll be a chance I'll be able to check that out. CanCon. CanCon is ran by Recoil Magazine. That's a fun one too because it's 100% suppressed. So yeah, I'm getting too old, man. Noise get on my damn nerves. So when you give me a suppressed range day, yeah, I'm with it. I'm game.
Hey, hey,
You
bro,
know.
I got hearing aids from firing that M249 in the war, so I feel you. I
So
feel you.
you can appreciate.
They say protect it, don't lose it. Well, I lost it and it hurt like,
Hell,
but I
I get it.
feel
You get
you
that
though,
constant ringing.
man.
Yeah,
We don't
boy.
even want to
Yep.
talk about it. I don't even talk about it because
Yep.
it's one of
So
them
the
things. Yeah.
CanCon is one that I will also highly advise. It's fun. You get to see all the suppressors. And then this year is going to be extra interesting because of all the stuff that happened with the short bill. I mean, the SBA, not the SBA, Jesus, the suppressor. What do they call that in the bill? It's not the HPA, whatever they call it. We in the big beautiful bill, what we just had happen with the NFA. It might have some different effects on the suppressor market, so it'll be cool to see. So CanCon, I would say is number 2 because I just haven't been to TreasureCon yet. So I would say right now, CanCon will be number 2 behind GunCon. If you like community stuff, like a family barbecue, like if you like chilling like that and you want to be around guns too, then I would say a regular gun guy meetup is phenomenal. That event, and I've told them that event was the first event that I've ever went to that checked my attitude when I got there. Because I've been around for so while, and some of these, I say this with love, but some of these newbies or kids think that I'm supposed to be intimidated when they come into a room. I've been in these rooms. I don't, you know. So I come in with kind of like a natural like, what's the new level of BS gonna be? You know what I mean? Not like confrontational, just like whatever, right? But when I walked into that room for the first time, I was met with so much love and so much, so many smiles and so many handshakes. That aura of that event is absolutely phenomenal. And so I said, it checked me, it put me back in my place. It's like, nobody had to yell at me. They just, their love checked me. Like, calm down. You amongst everybody here chilling, man. You need to get like us. And I did. And I had a great time. So the regular gun guy meetup, it's phenomenal. They move it around every year. They just had it at Greenwood this year. So it was at my range this year. I don't know where it's going to be next year, but they move it around. So I would definitely say keep up with them, and very reasonable price tickets as well. And you have a good time. And they got a sneaker ball. So you get to put on your freshest fit, So I had on a suit with the new kicks, you know what I'm saying? Was doing my thing out there. I like to get dressed up. So nice sneaker ball. They feed you well. You laughing. You got an award show. Like range day. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I like to call it the grown and sexy event of the gun industry. It's the grown and sexy event of the gun industry. It's a vibe. SHOT Show is what SHOT Show is. I think that is something that you got to go to at least once for sure. At least once to check it out. There are a lot of opportunities if you understand how to work SHOT Show properly. SHOT Show will be a good
I
one.
didn't.
You didn't? That's why train and learn is important. So you come to train and learn to get ready for stuff like that.
But that's
right?
the thing. I specifically came, like everybody else, with the media pass for the, my YouTube channel and all that. I'm not known, as a tactical guy. I mean, yeah, I go off grid and do my little thing there. But in the meantime, when I can't get off grid, I do this. The book, the podcast, whatever. But yeah, I was happy, just as you said, when that changed your emotions and your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 influencers knew who I was at SHOT Show. And
Okay.
that freaked me out so much. I mean, it was like Black Rambo, Jay the Shooter, Hoodneck, some other, names. I didn't know they even knew who the fuck I was. But it was cool that, saw them, shook hands, took pictures, and I'm
Yeah, it's
glad that.
always nice to be recognized for sure.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not tactically connected to the community anymore. Because I can't do it after the war. But I'm connected with people like you and everyone else that do it, teach it, pass it, spread it, and that's what's up. All right, everyone. This has been episode 127 of the WarDawg Trail podcast. Again, we had Mr. KD, Kevin Dixie, known around the world and especially in the 2A gun space, as the Real NOC. NOC standing for no other choice. Right. KD, you got any final words or let everyone know once again where they can find you online and social media?
Sure. Just one. Thanks for having me on, man. Because I know normally we sit after scenes and talk, but I know I'm gonna have to roll or I get yelled at. But one, I want to first of all thank you. I want here's something I want people to know. Be okay with giving people their flowers, so to speak, while they can still smell them. Seriously. So I want to thank you for your kindness. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for allowing me to talk to your audience. Thank you for your kind words, your humble spirit, your attitude, being vulnerable. So thank you for all those things. I really do appreciate that. And for everyone else, if you want to keep up with me, man, just the Real NOC on all your platforms. There's YouTube is where I'm going to be putting a lot of work into. Part of the reason I got to run today, we do have, I got a team I'm building and it is coming together. And right now we have 32 videos to crank out before the end of the year. So we are going to be cranking out a lot of content over on YouTube. If you want to keep up on the Real NOC, you're going to see the Mossberg 590R and the 590RM coming up. We are also going to have the 940 from Mossberg coming out. We got a video on the Benelli. We have one coming for the ZP5. We have one coming for Scorpion, Strybog, BNT. I can't name you the amount of suppressors. We got some 6.5 video coming out, some RXM videos coming out. What else did we get in here? We have another Ross Martin with their new product. We have that video coming out. We have some comm stuff coming out. There might be some you're real interested in. You might want to pay attention to that. We got a communications company that actually can take the walkers, and I'm just gonna say walkers because that's who I work with. So they can take the walkers and turn them into high frequency communication tools, right? So you can be off grid. So you know how you used to, like run the ops core with the cable down the comms.
Yeah.
Let's just say you'll be able to do that for literally a tenth of the price.
And what do you mean by walker? You mean like the elderly?
So like walkers, the Ear Pro company walkers.
Yeah.
The headset company.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said walkers. Right. I'm sorry.
So
forgive me, everywhere.
If you look at like the Ops Core amps, those are $1,000 a set, right? Okay. Well, if you look at the walkers, I mean, you can get if you ball out, you're gonna spend 150 if you ball out, right? But if you go with a nice set, you'll be sub 100 easy, right? $80 or whatever. Yeah. And then there's a company I'm going to be doing some content with that takes those, extends a boom mic from them, and then you're able to actually, with some other tech that goes into it, you're able now to turn those into more serious comms. Okay. Right. So we'll have that kind of stuff coming out. So we have a lot of interesting, a lot of Red Dot reviews, like a Steiner MPS review coming. I don't know, man. It's a lot. I got a box of tandem cross things that they sent in for the children. We're going to be reviewing. And we got other things coming out. Springfield, just sent me over to Kuna. So we got that review to put out. Versa has a new 2011. That review will be coming out. So the ultimate Glock build, we got that video coming out. We have the KenShot 6003 hydraulic buffer system video that's going to be coming out in the next few months. It's a lot. Smith & Wesson, we got a couple of their products we got to put out. So it's a lot. So head over to the YouTube channel. We'll be having some fun and, check it out. And then nootherchoice.com is the website, just nootherchoice.com. You can catch all the training classes there. And by the end of the week, by the time you guys really get to view this, you'll also see a request us page. It'll be there. So if you want training in your city, that is the absolute best way to do it, is to fill out that form. And either myself or a team member will get back to you and we will try to arrange training in your city. Don't be shy about bringing training to you, but also don't be lazy to go out there and get it. Right. So sometimes you got to get in the car, take a little road trip, man. It's all right. So yeah, that. So I'll be if you're in any one of these cities, I need to tell you, I will be teaching in St. Louis, Missouri, the second weekend in August. I believe that's the 8th and the 9th. See if I can see it from here. Yeah, so I'll be there the 9th and the 10th. I'll be back home in St. Louis, Missouri, running a rifle and pistol class weekend there. After that, I will be September. I will be in Gray, Kentucky, and we'll also be in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So make sure you go to the website and check those classes out. That is also a weekend of training. Once again, that's Gray, Kentucky, and then in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. After that, we're going to have Miami, Florida coming up. So make sure you check out Miami for October. Training class, I believe, is going on down in Miami. We just came back from Minnesota, so you probably missed that one for the year. And then we have in November, we'll be right outside of Pittsburgh. We'll be outside the Pittsburgh area, and then there's another city I'm missing, and then we're obviously all over Atlanta because that's where we're spread at. So classes all day long in Atlanta. And if you are a serious professional and you're looking to develop your craft, or you want some instructor development, things like that, you can also book a one-on-one with me to where it's 4 hours, me and you on the range working on whatever you want to work on, right? So, and if you are a female or you have a female that's in the Atlanta area, they can also reach out. I have brought Defensive Unicorns. Her name is Danny. I brought her on as a female instructor with the No Other Choice brand. So she runs our
had her on
female
the show.
division. Yep. So she's with us now, still doing her own thing, but I have her over here with No Other Choice as well. So if you are just comfortable and you want that female experience, we have Danielle down there to provide that for you as well. She also has her female RSO, so they're an entire team. And then we have Mr. Brandon Davis, who's a former Leo down here in the area that runs a lot of other classes for me as well. So we have an entire team down here in Atlanta that will get you together. So that goes for your events too. Like if you want to do, we've had people want to put all kind of events together, like team building events. You want to do something for your fraternity or your soror or whatever, and you just want a firearm component, we can provide that. So you can have a female or you can have a guy to come out and assist you with whatever you may need. So just nootherchoice.com, reach out to us, and everything from beginners to door kickers, like whatever you want to do in between. The only thing that we don't teach is, we don't teach close quarter combat. I'm not jumping into all that. My experience in that is not good enough to constantly teach that on a high level, so I don't try. We do some basic home defense things, but be aware of the instructor that tries to tell you they know everything. They might not. But yeah, for everything else leading up to that, getting you operating that gun, getting you thinking with that firearm, whether you're a 4 or 5 year old or you're a 45-year-old professional, we can help out. So nootherchoice.com, reach out to us in the Real NOC on Instagram. And that's me, man. Reach out. Don't be afraid to say something. Get in the comments. Engage. I am a grown man, though. So you talk like an adult. Even if I disagree with you, I'll respond to you. And I will engage with you like an adult. You act like an asshole. Now I'm from the old school, man. We don't do that. I ain't got time. I'm gonna let the audience chop you up. I ain't got time. You know what I'm saying? I'll embarrass you on an intellectual level, then I'll leave it alone and let everybody else just finish you off. So when you come over there with us, man, we're trying to create a space where we can have fun, we can tease each other, we can get smart. It's still the internet, right? At the same time, the main focus is to come over there and have a space where adults can do adult things. They can have adult conversations, right? So it's the internet, so I'm only taking that so far, but welcome. Come on over, engage, talk. Just be prepared to be responded to.
Only because we with somebody, called the real. Get that, make sure the real, not anything else. In other words, his name is the Real NOC. I'm gonna explain to you how bad even I need to go to train to learn. I'm not an influencer. I'm more like independent media within the whole military or 2A, right? But I don't make any money off this. I have, everything. I don't have a team. I do it all on my own. I've never made money off anything. I gotta be real with you. The clothing line. The only thing is the book, and books only trickle in. So even I need to take the train to learn, figure out what's going on and what I need to do. All right. So that's, like I said, this is episode 127 of the WarDawg Trail podcast. I told you he was a beast. This is why I had to bring on not only the tactically professional, but as well as the just the wisdom game professional. I brought on again Mr. KD, Kevin Dixie, also known as the Real NOC, No Other Choice, in the entire not just to space, but hey, globally, around the world. People know who he is. Companies know who he is. Hey, salute. All right, everyone. This has been
Much
episode
respect.
127. And NOC, I want to thank you for coming on, bro. Salute.
No, my absolute pleasure, man. I can't wait to talk to you again.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I told you I had a big one for you in the 2A space, man. I told you. That's why we had him on episode 81. I told you. All right. Salute.